Good evening, everybody. Back again with another video, coming live from Factor Elite 24/7. I am Coach Will Rivers, the Christian personal trainer. I'm just coming to talk about something else. I do appreciate everybody who viewed my last video pertaining to giants falling. I do know that I went a little bit long-winded in that video. And if you're anything like me, you probably don't pay attention for longer than 10 or 15 minutes at a time. So I understand and I apologize. This won't be as long as that one was, but I do have a concept that I want to talk about. I want to talk about something that I've known about for a while, but I hadn't heard a name for it until recently. It's a thing called love bombing. Love bombing. And it is a trait that's usually no, it's a tactic that's usually performed by narcissists, and it is to attack people who are looking for love or have some type of self-doubt or insecurity, and it's a way to hook people and bring them in. Let's talk about this for a minute. Let's get to the heart of it. So what is love bombing? Love bombing is when a narcissist, or anybody for that matter, doesn't have to be a narcissist, finds somebody and shows them a bunch of love and a bunch of affection and a bunch of attention real early on, enough to get that individual to believe what they're saying, and then they utilize that feeling of euphoria and that feeling of being accepted, that feeling of being appreciated, to control that individual by tapering it off and removing it until that person does something else that they want again. So what end up generally happening is this individual will show a bunch of affection, a bunch of love, and everything will be all honeymoonish for a while, and then it'll slowly drift off, and then it'll stop for a while, and then when the woman or man, because it could go either way, decides that, wait a minute, I'm not getting this affection, this person might not care about me again, then they start exhibiting all kinds of emotions and actions, and this clues the individual that's doing the love bombing that, wow, I've got their attention, I've got them now. And then these people utilize this, flip it around, and turn it into a situation where they will gate that affection only when they get what they want, if that makes sense. So, who are targets of love bombing? Once again, it's usually people who have low self-esteem, usually people who are yearning for a sense of belonging, excuse me. It's usually people that feel like they need love. It's people that are lonely. Some people that is most of the time they're introverted or just don't really have a whole lot of experience in relationships, or they may have a lot of experience in relationships, but just have not had a relationship in a very long time, or not ever, that had a good feeling that came with being with that individual. So the person doing the love bombing is out to use somebody, and manipulation's at the heart of all love bombing. I mean, I'm at the conclusion of that no matter how deep it is, and no matter how much you want to say that you don't realize that's what you're doing, in the end you're doing it to manipulate somebody, because that's the only way, only reason why you would validate dragging somebody's heart through the mud, only to make yourself feel good. So how do we prevent it? How do we avoid it? How do we understand this is what's going on? Because this is serious. If you are becoming friends with somebody, or if you are in a brand new relationship with somebody, and the first few weeks they seem like they're head over heels in love, they're doing everything in their power to keep you, and all this extra over the top stuff, that is a telltale sign that you're probably about to get love bombed. If this person is overly affectionate and you've done nothing to deserve this affection, either one or two things are going to happen, because this is a critical part in this, is that either you're about to be love bombed, or a love bomb attempt is about to happen on you, or you're going to be put in a prime opportunity to love bomb somebody else. Neither one of them are good. Neither of them are good. If you are the recipient of all this affection, all this love, all this feel good emotionally stuff, then you have to respect yourself enough and respect that individual enough to tell them, wait, slow down, wait a minute, we ain't that far yet. And as a grown adult, or as a mature individual in your mind, you've got to know that you're not that far yet, and you got to know that something's wrong, either with what they're trying to do, their intentions, or with the fact that they're craving this so much that they just can't help but to overly show how affectionate and how appreciative that they are. Save yourself and save them from the heartache. Tell them to slow it down, and if they don't understand it, then it's best to go ahead and cut it off. The way to keep from being a victim of love bombing is to not allow it to take place to begin with. See the signs early and recognize them for what they are. This will save you a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of energy, because what tends to happen is I compare love to heroin. No, I don't do heroin. But love is that type of drug that gives that type of euphoria that, I mean, when you in a relationship or when you get to know somebody, the love bomb is almost like this concocted drug that's in this needle, and after you give yourself the first shot of it, that high that comes with being appreciated, and that thing that comes with being put on top of the world, and that whole feeling of just being that person's everything, all this stuff creates a euphoria. It creates almost like a high where you feel like you are on cloud nine and nothing can bring you down. And then what happens is you feel that, and once it starts to wear off, everything you do from that point on, just like with drugs, you're doing an attempt to achieve that same high all over again. But a lot of times, just like back in drugs, that first high is not attainable. After that first time, you'll never get that same feeling again, because as time goes on, your subconscious and your heart will start putting two and two together, and things that you didn't know or didn't realize at first, they're going to play in, and you're going to be trying to achieve this high, while then you're going to end up in this battle, this tension against yourself, where you know what's right, but you also know how you feel. And this is when you are deep. This is where the love bomb has set in and it's exploded, because you're an emotional wreck, and you start feeling as though you are better with them and in your own misery than you are without them and not having them at all. You'd rather wait for that next feeling of euphoria to come, no matter how long it takes, then to walk away realizing that you are worth much more than this, and that you will find somebody. If you get away from this idiot, you will find somebody much, much better that will give you that feeling of euphoria naturally. You've got to see the signs, and you've got to believe them when you see them. Everybody will reveal themselves to you eventually. Nobody can hide forever. When you see the real individual, when you see that real person, believe it for what it is. And don't be a victim of love bombing. Like I said, I try to keep my promise. This is right at 11 minutes or so. I'm going to end it right here. Just give you a little bit of food for thought. You know what I mean? Try to put you on game a little bit, so that you don't have to go through some of the stuff that I've had to go through in my lifetime. And you don't have to deal with stuff that I've had to deal with and learn lessons the way that I've had to learn. You know, you listen, it's great. If you don't, that's great too. At the end of the day, the choice is yours, shawty. You grown. And if you're not grown, you think you're grown. So all I can do is give God the glory, continue to pray for you, and hope that everything that happens for you in this next season is from God. And I do pray that, and I bless you with that, and I pray that I touch somebody today, and at least make you aware. You know what I mean? At least make you aware of some of the things that's going on around you, some of the tricks of the devil, some of the evil that is taking place here. So that's it. It's just a little 12-minute video. I know I said 11, but 12-minute video talking about the tactic of love bombing. That's it. I'm out. At the Elite 24/7, baby. See you later.